Here we are with the column of Trajan. So now let's look at the caption. The chief designer, Apollodorus of Damascus. The artwork specifically is the column of Trajan. It's located inside the Forum of Trajan in the city of Rome. Now I have two images here. This is how it stands today. And then this one is to let you know that it was originally brightly painted. The column of Trajan celebrates Trajan's takeover of Dacia. You're supposed to read it from the bottom, and then it's going to swirl up and around with images of the military campaign up and through. There are battles displayed here, key takeovers, and it ends with the final triumph of Trajan at the top of the column. Now I like this image here because not only does it show you that the story of Trajan's takeover of Dacia was brightly painted, but you can also see how there were these raised walkways around the column, so you would have been able to not only appreciate it from the base, but trace it as it goes up and up and up to the Capitol. Now I mentioned before that the column of Trajan is where the ashes were laid, or Trajan's ashes were laid to rest. So the base here, we'll get closer, but the base is where his ashes were entombed. And then the column itself is hollow. In this cutaway, you see the staircase. Now, I don't want you to think that this was some kind of like tourist attraction and we could all just like hang out, walk around up this column. No. You know the Romans. This is all about efficiency. So that spiral staircase in the inside of the column is there to maintain the column. There are air and light holes that pierce the space as well. So this is simply to maintain it. At the top of the column, there was a statue of Trajan. It's not there anymore. It has been replaced by a statue of a Christian saint. But originally, it was the statue of Trajan, and he was on top of his massive column. And like I said, you would be able to read this from the bottom to the top and understand the course of the Dacian campaign. Along the way, and we'll look at details, but along the way, you would see Trajan and some of his key officials as they gathered up their troops, or they set up forts, or they went to specific key locations for battle and then defeat of Dacian chieftains. And then it winds up and up and up and up to the final victory here. So as I said, Trajan was interned, or his ashes were interned in this base. They are no longer there. They've been looted, removed, lost to time, but it would have been the original burial site of him. And then remember, behind the column would have been the temple dedicated to Trajan. Wow, right? So here are some of those details. They are showing you the military superiority of Rome. We see their battleships, we see the Roman oarsmen, we see, as we go around, we see the everyday kind of training and control of the Roman soldiers. Most of the column features the day-to-day logistics of the Roman Empire, of the Roman soldiers. It doesn't have a lot of battle scenes. Instead, it celebrates the discipline, the strategy, the control, the power of the Roman Empire, through its soldiers. So the discipline of the soldiers, the regiment of the soldiers, the efficiency of resources of the soldiers. So it might seem kind of boring, like where are all the cool battle scenes? But this is Rome. It's that practicality of a Roman. Let's go here. So in this one stretch of the column, what we see is, we're supposed to read from the bottom up, is we see Emperor Trajan, then General Trajan. There he is. And he is receiving the surrendering, or he is receiving one of the Dacian chiefs who is in this act of supplication or surrender. He's like, okay, please, please, Trajan, you win, you win. And then if we continue up, in the next loop of the column, we see soldiers and their gathering of supplies. They have food, they have planks, they have these pallets. What they're doing is they're trying to fortify for the next battle. Again, we would be seeing this and appreciating, oh, us Romans, we're so strong, we're so smart, we're such, brilliant engineers. We're not just good soldiers, we don't just kill, we build, we dedicate our times and our lives and our strength for the goodness of Rome. And then if we loop up around again, we see Trajan again, and whoa, 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 whoa. What are his soldiers bringing him right now? Heads! Dacian heads. So we see one of the Dacian falling to him. Then we see the preparing of battle. And then we see the results of that battle. And we see Trajan twice. It's not because there were multiple Trajans. We're supposed to be reading this as this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. This type of scene is called a continuous narrative. So we see him here, and then the narrative or the story continues, and then we see him again. And then it's easy to spot Trajan because in order to visually connect him throughout the story, the artist has chosen to put him in similar postures or poses, so that as we wind around, we can see that and be like, that's Trajan again. Oh, that's Trajan again. Oh, that's Trajan again. So all of the movement is happening around, but we can still see our leader, Emperor Trajan, as we trace up and up and up the column. I mean, this artwork and the entirety of the forum is basically really elaborate propaganda, right? It's propaganda for Trajan. It's propaganda for the Roman Empire. And there is no place within this forum where you are not reminded of the greatness of Trajan and the large and powerful expanse of the empire. They are one and the same, the emperor and the empire together. And then you are one unit within this larger expanse.